Good almost morning, everybody. It is March 27th. Gonna cross over to March 28th, hopefully, by the time this is over. I hope to make this about 20 minutes. Um, I am here to bring to you today my favorite of topics mycology, the study of fungi. Now, before I talk about the love of my life, mycology, I'm going to be showing you why I am using this website, Healthline. Healthline is a rather unbiased site. It is pro science. Now, I'm not going to say that I fully support scientific inquiries and data. We are lied to a lot by scientists because they get funded, and you got to follow the money of who is funding them and why they're funding them and what they're trying to get from studies. But you can't discount science. What needs to happen in science is it needs to be peer reviewed. Without peer reviews, you're just going to have a king who says, this is the fact, this is how it is, because I feel that way. So, this website tries really hard to not use emotional words. When you're reading emotional words inside of what you believe to be a factual spreadsheet or information, get the hell off of that website. That is not facts. They are using emotions to cover up the fact that they don't have fact. They're trying to make you feel the way that they feel instead of showing you data, instead of showing you numbers. And why they don't have numbers is because it'll be peer reviewed and people will be like, hey, that study was never done. Hey, that was never published. Hey, where are you getting these numbers from? I've never heard of that. So stray away from using emotional words, and when you see emotional words in papers, be very cautious. I'm not going to say that they're all wrong, and emotion is very important to us humans. It's part of what makes us as human as we are. But when you're trying to find facts, be careful about emotions. One of the biggest reasons why I like this website is it has failed every fact check. It has not posted blatantly incorrect data. So that is important. I don't really know why it says it's mostly factual, even though it's never failed a data check. It should probably be more up in the high range. I wouldn't say very high. This is probably impossible to get to because, like I said, funding. Each of these websites, Healthline included, has funders, and unless if it's crowdfunded and it has no major shareholders and nobody hedge funding it, then, which I'm sure it doesn't, or I'm sure it does, you gotta follow the money. You just gotta follow the money at the end of the day and see why people are trying to figure this out and what they're trying to figure out and how much are they trying to push their agenda on the data. But other than my opinions on data and science and why things are the way they are and how hard it is to find data, I'm just going to jump into my mushroom because that is what I want to talk about. This is the Reishi Mushroom, otherwise known as the Lingzi. It was found in China. It grows in China. Scientifically, it's known as the Ganoderma lucidum. You don't really need to know that. It's really just for scientists. It's a hard name to pronounce. It's too big. It's too dumb. But it's good to know. But number one about this mushroom is that it boosts the immune system. Now, through this age of COVID and, through flu season and cold season, I see so many people and I hear about so many people drinking cough syrup and, just like when COVID first came out and people were drinking a ton of vodka because they thought that it killed COVID, and I mean, there might be something to that because alcohol is a sterilizing agent, but it's not good for your immune system. Don't drink alcohol to get better. It won't work. It's an immunosuppressant. So, other alternatives, reishi mushrooms, boost your immune system. Great for inflammation. They are great for critical parts of your immune system. They improve gut health. They improve your lymphocyte function. Lymphocytes are, I believe, the creation of white blood cells. Now, again, I am not a scientist. I don't fully know what I'm talking about, and I will admit when I don't know what I'm talking about, and when I'm trying to explain something I don't know what I'm talking about. I am making the most educated opinions that I can about the things that we know now. I'm just a man trying to say a few words about things that I care about, that I have studied for a little bit of time, and I see a great importance to try to progress the knowledge of this topic. Um, uh, but for healthy adults, there has been data that has shown that it has not had too much of an improvement on immune function or inflammation. But when you do have immunoproblems and when you do have inflammation, this is your cough syrup. This is what you want to take. I've been taking these for the last little bit because I have been having things like heart palpitations. And as we'll read further down here, they are great for your heart health. They increase the good HDL, your cholesterol, your good cholesterol, and they decrease triglycerides, which is important in this fat-consuming culture that we have in America. But most importantly, what this mushroom is known for is its anti-cancer properties. This data right here is not completely factually true. I do know that for a fact. And what I mean by that is all of these patients underwent both surgery and chemotherapy. 59% of them also consumed reishi mushrooms. Now, if we were to say, well, that doesn't work. I'm not going to use that as an example. That's okay. But the point is that in coupling something like chemotherapy, surgery, and a very heart-healthy, cancer-killing mushroom, you've got a better chance to survive. Cancer is a killer. There's not much you can do about it. It sucks. So take the steps and the precautions to hopefully not get cancer. This is good for multiple forms of cancer. One, breast cancer. Another, where is it? I know it says it, prostate cancer, which is great for us men. So, if it's not anything else that kills you as a man, it's gonna be prostate cancer. So the longer you can push that one off to the side, the better, because that will get you as a man in the end. It will be the thing that kills you, even if there is a serum to infinite life. You're just gonna die of freaking prostate cancer. So don't let your butthole get sick. Fight it with the reishi mushroom. It's also good for your colorectal cancer, so in your colon, your colorectal area. It is great for tumors in your large intestine, which is important if you have a tumor in your large intestine, But overall, main point, fantastic for cancer patients. If you have cancer or you're trying to undergo chemo and you're struggling and you're feeling like it's not doing what it needs to, talk to your doctor, see what he says about reishis. But really, we're still in the beginning stage of science. I mean, it was not that long ago that we found penicillin. It was really not that long ago on the grand scheme of human life that we even discovered things like fire and really discovered things like, making shelter. Like, we are still very in the beginning stages of development of science and especially health science. So try everything. Try everything that has promise to it, and I really believe that reishi mushrooms have a lot of promise to them for those who do have cancer. One more thing, I know we're all going through this, fatigue and depression. I am so slow. I was so slow. I was so tired. I have been battling major depressive episodes over the last little while. There's a lot going on in my family life. There's a lot going on in my work life. There's a lot going on in my relationship. There's a lot going on with the politics of this world. I could go on and on about all the things that are going on that could cause depression and could just make you tired and just sick of dealing with all of the problems that we have today. So let's try to fight that. Let's try to make this society a little bit better. One of those ways is to consume this mushroom because it could fight off your fatigue. You could be doing more in a day. You could be a little bit happier in your day, which is, it goes a long way. After a few days of a little bit of happiness, it starts to build on each other. It's like a snowball. You start rolling it down the hill, it'll pick up speed, it'll pick up mass, you'll be happier and happier and happier, you'll be doing more and more in your life. You pick up one thing a day that you do like, you drop one thing a day that you don't like, and eventually you're doing all the things that you do like. But it's hard to get there if you don't have something that is supporting you, supporting your nerve functions, supporting your health. If you're feeling unhealthy, you're going to be tired, you're going to be sad. So these could help fight some of those issues that I know that I was struggling with quite a bit before. I still kind of am struggling with it now. I've only been taking these for about a week, but I have noticed that they have helped me a lot with my anxiety and my heart palpitations that I've been having. Which brings us to heart health. They might increase, and by may increase, I mean that there is a lot of discrepancy in the scientific community about mushrooms because, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, funding. There are many scientists that are going to say, hey, you should take this pill because I sell it to you and I'm funded to sell it to you and I make a little bit of extra money when I sell this pill to you. Whereas you can go freaking grow this on your own. You don't need doctors. You don't need somebody to tell you how it needs to be done, and you don't need a prescription. You can grow this in your house. It doesn't take that long, and they're very easy to grow. Just need some hardwood, need a little bit of water, you need some liquid culture or some spores, you're good to go. So they increase your heart health. They are great for blood sugar control. Those who have type 2 diabetes, these are a great mushroom for you to take. They will mean that you need less prescriptions for your insulin because you will not be needing to take it as much. You won't need as much insulin because your blood sugar levels are more stabilized. With that, also, it means that your dietary health can then improve because if your blood sugar's low, you're constantly needing to up your sugar intake, and then it drops again. You need more sugar. It drops again. You need more sugar. Instead of taking in all of this sugar, which is usually, especially in type 2 diabetics, unnatural sugars, just stabilize that shit. Stabilize them. And that brings us to, I believe, our last point on the goody good goods, and that is their antioxidant status. Antioxidants are incredibly important. They help prevent damage to your cells. They reduce aging effects, and these are chock full of antioxidants. So take them if you're feeling a little bit, I don't know, oxidized. Dosage, it'll say this on any it'll tell you on any container. Like, for instance, I've got it in powdered form. It's about a half a teaspoon serving, not very much, and I've got a big old container of it. So, I mean, that's going to last me a long time. I buy my mushroom supplements from Fungi Perfecti, which is Paul Stamets' brand. I very much respect the man. He is a fantastic person. As I said in my last video, I've read lots of his books. I've read lots of his papers. I've seen a lot of his talks. He's got some really good TED Talks, and some really fascinating stories about some of the things that he's been working on, like his work with the bees. His first magic mushroom trip is really interesting. I highly recommend that if you're interested in either of those topics of repairing the ecosystem with more bees, or, you know, just the psychedelic side of real scientific inquiries about that topic, I recommend looking at him. He doesn't talk so much about psychedelics, but he does have stories about them. I mean, the dude works with mushrooms. He's clearly interested. So go check him out. But when you are taking these, you can't eat them considered wet, which is when they first grow. They are very hard. They are a woody mushroom, a woody polypore, which means they've got little pores on the bottom that eject their spores, which are I guess, similar to seeds of a plant. So you've got to cut them up and boil them into teas, or you've got to extract all of the goodies from them through an alcohol extraction, or you dry them up really fine and you crush them up. However, again, very, very hard to crush up. So you don't want to do it in a blender. It'll tear your blender apart. So it's best to just buy them from somebody. I don't always recommend just going out and buying products. I really think that we should be making our own stuff, but that's one that you probably do gotta buy. The possible side effects of this mushroom are that you might experience the placebo. You might have a little bit of an upset stomach or digestive distress. No adverse effects on liver health reported in whatever studies these were. I do know that I had read a different report where 3 people who were severe alcoholics were taking reishi mushrooms and they had severe liver damage, but the dumbasses were taking something that affects their liver and intercepts some of the molecules in the liver in healthy ways, and they were taking something that affects the liver in very negative ways, and those two were fighting it out in the liver. So yeah, no duh, you're going to have adverse effects. So I guess that's what this paper means by also it saying, alone, there's no liver damage. As this says again, no detrimental effects to liver or kidneys. Important because with a lot of medicines, it says, hey, this could affect your liver in a bad way. Hey, this could decrease your kidney health. These do not. Very important to read about your medicine. With this all talked about, with the reishi mushrooms talked about, except for this, there was a little bit of liver damage with the powdered extract after people were taking it in, I believe, tincture form, which is the alcohol extraction method. I'm taking them in powdered form. I have not noticed any problems with my liver. If you're concerned about any of that, buy some fresh ones. Make some tea. Buy a tincture. The only thing that I've noticed with reishi mushrooms is they cause a little bit of stomach upset because they are really hard to digest. They are really, really hard mushrooms, so your body's got to figure out how to break down this really hard, woody substance. It's like eating tree bark. You don't eat tree bark because your body can't digest it. But with all of the positive data backing these mushrooms, it's really worth it. So we're going to move on to our next mushroom, the lion's mane mushroom. This is a very cool mushroom. Actually, let me pull up a picture for you guys, because the lion's mane mushroom is a weird-looking fungi. It grows like this. Ain't that a weird thing? And it's super healthy for you. And it tastes like shellfish. So if you find this thing in the wild, which I don't think that there are any fungi that look like lion's mane beside the others in the family of Erinaceus, which is... That's not lion's mane. This is not lion's mane, but it's in the same family. They're all beneficial, though. I'm getting sidetracked. Go back to my main topic. These are powerful tools that are used for dementia patients. And I see that it says it could protect against dementia. However, it does block amyloid beta plaques. And what amyloid beta is it's I believe the protein that's found in Alzheimer patients. So if you have amyloid beta in your brain and this prevents the neural damage by it, well, it could protect against dementia. We could just knock that word out and say, hey, this protects against dementia. It takes away this plaque that causes Alzheimer's. So, It protects against Alzheimer's. It's great for nerve growth. I was taking this back when I had tetanus. I had gotten tetanus at a farm. I had hit myself with a hammer like a dummy after I was playing with a bunch of pigs and chickens on the farm, and me being my weird hippie self was like, I got this. I'm gonna figure this out. I don't need any help. I'm just gonna, make it. Which I did make it. However, I did get tetanus, which was terrible. I had noticed nerve damage in my arms, and I had noticed a sluggishness in my thought process as well as twitching. I was taking these mushrooms, and I had noticed that it had cleared up pretty fast after I had gotten my vaccination for tetanus, obviously, and I was put on antibiotics, which I was not happy about, but they did give my body enough time to figure out what was going on, so I am grateful for amoxicillin, which was what I was put on. However, I do have to say, these helped me a lot through my recovery after my body figured out what it was doing. People with tetanus experience side effects of tetanus long after tetanus has left their system, and sometimes for forever, because tetanus, it eats your nerves. And so it's not just like, it damaged my nerves and now they're going to grow right back afterwards. No. It ate them. They're gone. They were food. So you gotta grow them back. And this, I don't think it says it here, but it grows them, it produces a myelin sheath on your nerves about 3 times the strength. Paul Stamets has talked about this quite a few times. If you want to find that reference, it's somewhere in Paul Stamets' lectures. They help relieve mild symptoms of depression and anxiety. Again, super important for today. I believe the number was around 56%. Don't quote me on this. About 56% of people are on SSRIs. SSRIs are antidepressants. Now, antidepressants, I was on those since I was out from like 8 years old till probably about 16 years old, when I had finally made a decision to quit completely. I had gone on and off of them a few times, and that's a whole different story of horror of the early years of my life and my depressive episodes. But I have been taking these as a supplement to those, and I've noticed that when I do take them, and I'm good about taking them, and I'm taking them almost every day. I recommend taking these about 28 days out of the month. You want a few days for your brain to kind of just be itself. As with anything, you don't want to be smoking weed every day. You don't want to be, eating anything every day constantly. You don't necessarily want to be eating 3 apples a day. You want to be having an apple a day, and you want to be having a pear as well, and some cherries. You want to be spreading this stuff out. So it's good to be spreading these things out. But besides that, these have been shown to regenerate brain cells, something that medical science has talked about being impossible. We were told back in, for sure, the 70s, but probably until the late 90s, that it was impossible to grow new brain cells. That the brain produced a certain amount of cells, and it kept producing new cells until adulthood, and then you fell off of that track after adulthood. That's just not true. Your brain, like every other part of you, is its own functioning organism. It is reproducing cells. It is living and functioning with the rest of its ecosystem, which is inside of your skin. You are trillions of microbes working together in its own ecosystem to make you a functioning thing. Just like how the trees, the bushes, the grass, the fungi are all creating this landscape that is communicating with each other through different types of pheromones and different types of amino acids in the soil and different types of root structures and chemical signaling. You're the same way. You're just this big organism that is trying to work together. So your brain creates new brain cells, and this is something that does help regenerate your brain cells. Very important. Brain cell regeneration happens really, really slow. So the fact that these aid the production of brain cells is huge. Another one that's not on this list, but is important and important to me, psilocybin, magic mushrooms. Those produce new brain cells at an alarming rate. Paul Stamets has talked about this, and I know I keep referencing him, but he is, I don't know if he's written papers on it, but I know he's talked about it, about how combining magic mushrooms with lion's mane is just this powerhouse of creating new brain cells. And so if you've got any sort of mental disability, any sort of handicap when it comes to head trauma or problems with inflammation in the brain, try out lion's mane. They will help your brain recover, and they will increase the density of your nerves and your neurons, and they will help you in the aid of recovery. May increase recovery speeds of nervous system injuries. Like I said earlier, I don't even think that I read through these too much. I'm just kind of speaking like I would if I didn't have this paper. But it's important to show you data, so that way I'm not just talking out of my ass. So that's what this is for. But it may speed recovery for nervous system injuries. As I said, it helps for me. It's helped for a lot of people. In fact, lion's mane mushrooms have been shown to reduce recovery time by 23 to 41% when given to rats with nervous system injuries. We are very similar to rats. This is going to be the wrong word, but pharmacologically. When it comes to medicine and how our brain interacts, we are very similar to that of rats and mice. So that's why a lot of studies are done on rats. They also might help reduce the severity of brain damage after a stroke. So stroke victims, think about taking lion's mane as a supplement. It might help you recover from an absolute horrible experience that you had. Next, it protects against ulcers in the digestive tract. Ulcers suck. I've got 2 of them throughout my stomach, throughout my digestive tract, I should say. They are horrible. They hurt. They are uncomfortable. And so protecting against ulcers before they happen is good. Don't get ulcers in your stomach. If you don't have them already, great. Continue not to have them. For those that do, these will also protect the severity of when they act up. It's better than taking something like Pepto-Bismol, because Pepto-Bismol is allowing you to pig out and eat shit instead of protecting you and making you feel good enough to eat the right thing. Because when you're feeling good, you don't feel like you need more dopamine. When you're feeling good, you don't need nicotine. When you're feeling good, you don't need weed. You don't need alcohol. You're feeling good already. You don't need to be feeling better, and you don't need to run the risks of wanting. Because one of the worst things about the human condition is the fact that we want. And we want so much. And there's an infinite amount of wants. And there's a very few limited amount of needs that we actually have. So these are going to help you make better decisions. These are going to help you also help you protect your stomach when you do have damage to your stomach. They're going to help produce I don't want to talk out of my ass. Let me make sure. Yeah, they're going to help reduce inflammation in your stomach when your stomach is inflamed, as well as prevent tissue damage in other areas of the intestines. And for those of us, which I am one of these people, IBS or IBD, it helps. It just does. I'm not going to go into it too much, but it helps. It reduces the risk of heart disease. God, I can't remember if I took a different take and I was talking about this or not, but I've been dealing with heart palpitations for a little while now. Been very stressed recently. There's just been a lot in my life. Um, and I've noticed through taking both reishi mushrooms as well as turkey tail and lion's mane, those palpitations have rather subsided. I've been doing a lot better. I've been feeling a lot better. I've been okay. Um, I've been dealing with stress and problems a lot easier, and when I do have stress and problems and I do crumble, I'm immediately able to get back to being okay. I'm immediately able to get back to being like, it's fine. I'm just going to continue doing what I need to do. I'm going to continue to figuring out the right answers to my problems. And when I fail, I just get back up and I'm back on track with mycology and with what I care about most and spreading. Lion's mane can help prevent oxidation of cholesterol in the bloodstream. Lots of people today are struggling with their cholesterol levels. Even I, in the past, have struggled with cholesterol levels. I mean, it's hard not to. We eat so much bread. We are force-fed pork. We're force-fed just fast foody, greasy-ass burgers and fries that just raise our cholesterol. So lion's mane can help prevent the oxidation of this cholesterol in the bloodstream, which means it will lower your cholesterol in the bloodstream. And like this says, oxidized cholesterol will attach itself to the walls of your arteries, causing them to harden, increasing your likelihood of heart attack and stroke. So the less oxidized cholesterol in your system, the better. The healthier your heart is, the healthier you are. Your heart is your metronome. Your heart is the thing that is going to beat to keep you going. Without your heart, you're dead. You're dead. You've got nothing pushing you. It helps manage diabetes symptoms. Now, I don't know how much of this is true for type 1 diabetics, because usually studies are focused on type 2 diabetes because everybody has it, because we can't control our sugar and our fat intake because we are a fat society. But for those of you who do have type 2 diabetes, and I'm sorry for coming off hard on you, however, get your shit under control, this can help. This can help significantly lower your blood sugar. It was done in a study about mice. Again, mice, us, similar. Not exactly the same, but similar. That's why studies are done on them. Also, it's a good thing that we do studies on mice, because if not, we would be doing studies on children and on prisoners of war, which, I mean, we did do for a long time, and so did a lot of other countries, and a lot of countries still do these types of acts of scientific inquiries on unwilling participants who are within different militaries around the world, or civilian captains or captives from different countries or from their own countries where they're just testing on them. Not good. Not super great for the mice either. I feel bad for them. But me as a human, I'm a little bit more empathetic to humans, just as nature makes us. So yeah, I don't know why I've ranted so many times about mice, but you know, they're cute. This mushroom extract significantly reduced pain with mice that had diabetic nerve damage. When you have diabetes, my sister's a type 1 diabetic. I read about this a long time ago. I'm kind of going to speak from my ass here, but your pancreas your white blood cells start attacking your pancreas, and your pancreas has a lot of functions on your immune health. And so with that, and with your white blood cells not really knowing what is its body and what is not its body, it can also cause nerve pain and damage, and this is something that helps with that nerve damage as well as the pain, which I would imagine is not good, because pain sucks. May help fight cancer. I have not read too much about this one, because There's just so many other cancer fighters. I mean, reishi mushrooms and turkey tail are the two big ones that I know about, but this one helps fight cancer too. Um, Lion's mane extract has been shown to slow the spread of cancer and reduce the spread of cancer in the lungs by 69%, my favorite number. So those of you who are smokers, you're running the risk of getting lung cancer. You might want to take these as a precaution. I know that you probably think I'm fine, I'm healthy, nothing can ever happen to me. Well, guess what? I would think that too. But then you start having problems, you start having issues, you realize you're not invincible because nobody is. We all die at the end of this. Try to keep your health as best as you can for as long as you can. This is a great way to do it. Lion's mane have been proven to do lots of very good things. Reduces inflammation and oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is like stress to your skin, saggy eyes, dark spots, oxidative stress. And so they're great for that. They reduce inflammation in your bowels, and they're useful in the management of liver disease and stroke as well. So that's helpful. I mean, that goes back to the oxidation of cholesterol. If they reduce the oxidation of cholesterol, yeah, they take away your risk of stroke a little bit, which is great. Strokes are terrible. And they boost the immune system, which we are all looking for things to boost our immune system. I think that instead of taking a vaccine, which we have no idea what it's going to do long term. I mean, sure, let's say it helps a little bit. I mean, even though we're going to still have to wear masks, even though we have the vaccine, let's say it does help. What does it do in 30 years? What does it do in 10 years? What's it going to do in 12 months? We don't know these answers. There's not enough testing, and this is being spread across the globe as fast as possible. It's a little bit scary to me. I would rather do it through more natural things that people have done for centuries, that our body recognizes and our brain recognizes, and it can just fit right into the sockets it's supposed to be put into. So this is another mushroom that is going to help boost your immune system. In animal research, it has showed that lion's mane mushroom can boost immunity by increasing the activity of intestinal immune system, which protects the body from pathogens that enter the gut through the mouth or nose. What's one thing that we're really concerned about right now? Pathogens that enter the gut through the mouth or nose. Well, not necessarily gut, but that enter the mouth through the nose or the nose. And these effects might be partially due to the beneficial change in gut bacteria that stimulate the immune system. So this is a fungi that reacts really well with your gut bacteria and supercharges it to be able to fight off more infections. And your gut creates so many powerful chemicals for you. It produces about 90% of your serotonin. It produces a lot of your immunofunctions. You think that probably a lot of those things come from liver and kidneys and things like that. No, it's what you eat. It's what you are putting into your body, because your stomach is the thing that spreads out all of that nutrients into the rest of your body. If you've got a healthy gut, you've got more likelihood to have a healthy everything else. Very important to be healthy, especially through times like right now. Because if you aren't healthy, yeah, COVID could get you if you're super unhealthy. But I mean, it's got a death rate of like 0.001%. So just about everybody's not at risk. The side effects of this mushroom are just that. However, anyone who is allergic or sensitive to mushrooms should second guess taking mushrooms because you're allergic to mushrooms. That sucks for you. I'm sorry. Other forms of pharmaceutical medicines might be your only bet for when you do have a more serious problem. However, eat healthy. Don't go out and eat McDonald's and expect yourself to function properly. Eat a banana, eat an apple, go get some chicken. Make sure that it's chicken that wasn't force-fed corn and shoved in a corner and shat on by other chickens. Make sure it's chicken that was able to run around and is lean protein that is healthy, that was able to graze on grass. You are what you eat, and that goes for the chicken too. The chicken is what it eats, and if it's eating shit, the chicken is shit. And that's the bottom line. On to our third and last mushroom of the evening, the turkey tail mushroom. This is a phenomenal mushroom when it comes to cancer. It's packed full of antioxidants, and which means it also reduces damage caused by oxidative stress. And as we talked about for lion's mane, that's, damage caused to your skin. It's the wrinkles, it's the bags under your eyes, it's this, the sags that your skin eventually gets. It's, those types of things. So if you're concerned about that and you've got body image issues and you're having a hard time sleeping, first of all, take reishi and lion's mane because they help with sleep. But take these as well because they will make your skin look rejuvenated and healthy again. These contain 35 different phenolic compounds. Phenolic compounds, and I'm sure I'm butchering that word, but I do know what it means. I'm not good at pronouncing things, but that's because I read a lot. And I read a lot, and I read the words, and I'm like, this is how I would pronounce it. And then people are like, oh, you said Godard, it's Goddard. And I'm like, well, I was reading, so I don't know exactly how it's pronounced. But regardless, those are 35 different highly efficient plant chemicals that are really good for your immune system and for inflammation and for your digestive health. And so it's got 35 different types. That's a lot of types. I don't know exactly how many types there are, but 35 sounds like a pretty damn good number. These contain immune-boosting polysaccharopeptides. That's a big word. Polysaccharopeptides are protein-bound polysaccharides or carbohydrates that are found in, for example, turkey tail mushroom extract. Both PSK and PSP, which are found in turkey tails, have powerful immune boosting properties that improve and promote your immune responses by activating specific inhibitors in your immune cells in your immunosystem by suppressing inflammation, so that way you can get more of your white blood cells and whatever's fighting your infection into where it needs to be fighting the infection, instead of just being super swollen and nasty and ugly and pussy and disgusting. These also promote immunity to toxins that regulate the immune response. So, for instance, if you're eating off of a Teflon pan, Teflon is known to leach toxins into your food. And if you were silly enough to not do your research on Teflon and the DuPont industry, I'm letting you know right now, it's leaching toxins into your food. And if you're not in the stable position enough to go buy new cookware, because Teflon is cheap, at least do something. Promote that immunity to your toxins. Do what you can, because there have been lots of different birth defects from especially Teflon. If you haven't seen The Devil We Know on Netflix, I highly recommend it. It'll explain a lot about DuPont a lot better than I can, but it's a fascinating documentary. This may improve immune function in people with certain cancers. This mushroom has anti-tumor properties, and that's thought to be related to its immune-boosting effects, which, makes sense. If your immune system is boosted, it can probably fight off infections like tumors better. What's more is a certain type of polysaccharide found in turkey tails mushrooms called Coriolis, Coriolis versicolor glucon may suppress certain tumors. So again, back to it suppressing different types of tumors. So if you do have tumors, or if you are having a lot of pain, having a lot of issues in your gut, these are going to be good for you. These are going to be good for your immune system to be able to fight off of whatever inflammation you have. If it is a tumor, if it is cancer, you might be able to get it in its early stage and beat it before being poisoned by chemotherapy. And yeah, I said the word poison because it is a poison, just like how antibiotics are a poison. Antibiotic literally breaks down to anti-bio, anti meaning negating, and bio meaning life. Negating life, anti-life pills. However, if you're looking at a disease, unless if that disease has over 50% of your body, it's not going to kill all of you. You're going to be fine, especially when you're only taking antibiotics or something for like a week. But chemotherapy is something that you got to be on until you die, which kind of sucks. You're going to have to get checked up on all the time. So if you can beat that before it happens, beat it before it happens. Chemotherapy is a last-ditch effort to having cancer. It is not the first thing that you do if you can catch cancer early. Now, if you catch cancer in its stage 3, stage 4, states, shit, man, there's not a lot you can do. I wish you the best of luck. Try to take as many things as you can that you know are going to fight your cancer. I'm trying to help out by giving you 3 of them. But, that is rough. These in particular, though, may increase the efficiency or efficacy of cancer treatments. So, if you are taking chemotherapy as... sorry. If you are taking chemotherapy, you can use this as a natural tandem to fight certain cancers. Let us look at the types of cancers that this does fight. There was a study, and it showed that people with breast cancer, gastric cancer, and colorectal cancer treated with turkey tails and chemotherapy experienced a 9% reduction in 5-year mortality rate compared to chemotherapy mortality alone. That's pretty huge. 9% might be like, it's a difference between having a B and an A, and compared to grades. Now, you might say, well, no, a 9% on its own is a failing grade. That is a hard fail. But not when chemotherapy is effective on its own. Adding an additional 9% of that to that means you just went up a letter grade in how well you're going to be doing in 5 years. So think about the long haul. Might be a little bit of money, might cost you a little bit more. Your doctor might be saying like, no, just do chemotherapy, we want your money. But the data's here. On another review of 8 studies and over 8,000 people with stomach cancers demonstrated that those who were given chemotherapy along with PSK lived longer after surgery than individuals given chemotherapy without PSK. No numbers to this. I don't like that one. But the fact that it states it hopefully means something. As we said earlier, this is mostly factual. It does not have anything that has failed a fact check, which this is probably why it doesn't post a number, besides the fact that there are 8,000 people in it. And this is me being hard and critical on my own data that I am trying to show you. I'm trying to show that I'm not looking at this and being like, yeah, this is my data, this is what I believe in, and I'm going to follow it to a T. I don't believe that. I'm being as critical as I can on everything that I can to make sure that I am bringing truth and bringing a non-biased opinion to the table that's not trying to just shove an opinion down your throat to make you feel a certain way. I'll be critical on myself. If you find anything that I say to be untrue and you've got data to support yourself, send it in the comments. Send it to me directly. Say, hey, you were wrong here. And I'll probably make a video with everything that I've said that's wrong after I've said enough wrong things. So that way I can go through and I can correct myself and I can correct all this incorrect data that I've shared. Because I'm not perfect and scientific data isn't perfect. I'm sure if I'm doing this in 10 years, I'm going to have another video on the same exact 3 mushrooms and they're going to be a little bit different information. And I'm going to have to update this because that's just how science works. Science is constantly updating itself. But back to this. This may enhance your gut health. Your gut is huge for maintaining a strong immune system. It does so much for you. That's a different topic on everything that your gut does and why and how, and I'm not educated enough to give you a clear-cut good answer and good description of it without reading a little bit more on it, so I'm not going to try to. But I do know that it is huge for your immune response. So enhancing your gut health with this mushroom is going to be huge for your health. Huge for your gut, huge for your health, huge for your gut health. It reduces, or let's just read this, having healthy levels of lactobacillus and bifidobacterium bacteria has been linked to improved intestinal symptoms like diarrhea, enhanced immune system, reduced cholesterol levels, and lowers certain cancers and improves digestion. So if you're trying to take something for digestion and you're trying to, figure out how you can eat more pineapples, which cause digestive stress and things like diarrhea, or things like, you want an extra cookie. Like, you might want to take something that's good for your gut health so that way you don't feel it on the way out. Because that one is painful sometimes and you just don't want that. And it also shows that you're sick. Your body's not doing good. So if you can prevent that from happening, it shows that your body had a better time. Other benefits to this mushroom is that it may combat HPV, something that is rampant in today's societies because people can't stop fucking. A study in 61 people with HPV found that 88% of participants treated with turkey tail experienced positive results. 88% of participants. Compared to just 5% of the control group. I don't know exactly what that means. I don't know exactly what the control group was, but that's a pretty phenomenal number. 88% of participants that were treated experienced positive results. These also might reduce inflammation, and that's because they're loaded with antioxidants. With more antioxidants, your skin and your body has an easier time undergoing stress and has an easier time undergoing the creation of new cells and the repair of damaged tissue. So it reduces inflammation. It has antibacterial qualities. So if you're going to go swim in a nasty-ass lake, or if you're going to eat some old chicken, you're probably going to also want to eat this mushroom, because without it, or even still probably with it, especially if it's really old chicken, you're going to feel bad. These might improve athletic performance. So you athletes out there, you people that like to push your body and pump them muscles, this might help improve your athletic performance. You might be able to lift for a little bit longer. I'm not going to say that you can lift more because that would be a overstep of what this is, but you will be less fatigued and you will have lower blood sugar levels at the end of at rest after post-exercise. So what that means is that's kind of a negative. You're going to want to eat. You're going to want to eat after. You're going to want to make sure that you intake a little bit of food, a little bit of sugar, oranges, vitamin C, really anything, carbohydrates. You're going to want to get that blood sugar back up. These may improve insulin resistance. So, again, for those of you with type 2 diabetes, they can significantly reduce your blood sugar levels and improve insulin resistance, which means you need to take insulin less. You're going to need to do a little bit of math. You're going to need to figure out what works for you in the future, and you're going to need to test your blood sugar to figure out, when, how, why. But This is going to, in the long term, save you some money on your insulin, as well as improve your internals for the fact that you don't need to be taking an external substance to make your internals okay. Are these mushrooms safe? Turkey tail mushroom is considered safe with a few side effects. Some people may experience digestive symptoms like gas, bloating, or dark stools when taking turkey tail mushrooms. Dark stools traditionally mean that there is bleeding somewhere in your gut. Slightly uncomfortable, but if you don't have those, you're chilling. You're good. If you do have them, try to figure out why. Do a few dietary exercises. Figure out if it's coupling with it with anything that makes it a little bit worse. Stop taking these mushrooms and start taking them again in a few weeks and see if that changes anything. However, it could also be that it's just pushing out all the shit. And quite literally and figuratively. I mean, it could just be pushing out all of the dead cells inside of you and all of that negative crap out through your crap. So be intuitive about it, ask questions, see what works for yourself. But that is something that people do experience, so take that one with what you will take it with. When used as a cancer treatment alongside chemotherapy, side effects including nausea, vomiting, and loss of appetite have been reported. I have noticed amongst taking turkey tail mushrooms, and I'm not on chemotherapy, but I have noticed that I need to eat less, which is kind of cool because it means I save money. But it does mean that I'm not taking in as many calories as I should be taking in. So if you have a hard time eating in general, yeah, be a little bit careful. You want to make sure that you're eating. Anorexia, bulimia, those types of things, not good. Those do some real damage to your body. Not taking in your calories is going to fatigue you. It's going to damage a lot of parts of you. It's going to cause illnesses at a much earlier age. It is important that you take in the amount of nutrients that you need to be taking in and getting it from a diverse set of substances. Which is why I talk so much about mushrooms. Mushrooms are an entire kingdom of food that we don't talk about. Instead, we talk about dumb shit like dairy. Why? Because it's subsidized. Why? Because it's easy and it's a set byproduct of the fact that cows taste fucking delicious and we like to eat cows and we've got so many of them that it would be great if we could sell this other product that they make called milk, right? Well, yeah, for the people that are making money, but for those of you like you or I, most of us lack the enzymes to drink another animal's milk. We were not designed to go drinking from the tits of other animals. We were designed to drink our mother's milk and stop doing that at a very young age. So we are missing an entire food group that isn't talked about. Mushrooms. They are going to help you with a lot of those micronutrients that you aren't getting. But the bottom line is that these are a medicinal mushroom with an impressive range of benefits. From their powerful antioxidant compounds to their improving your gut bacteria and improving your immune system. Let's see, go away. Oh, we already went through that. So yeah, we are chilling. This is all that I really wanted to share with you today. Yesterday and today. But I hope you see why I love mushrooms so much and why they're so important to me. This was Noah talking to you. I'm the Myconaut. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, a fantastic night, wherever you are. Much love.